The lobby of Sterling Global headquarters was silent except for the echo of polished shoes against marble floors. Employees in expensive suits hurried toward the elevators, barely noticing the man standing near the reception desk. His jacket was clean but worn. His shoes had clearly seen better days. On one shoulder hung an old canvas backpack that looked out of place among the designer briefcases surrounding him. His name was Daniel Carter. A widowed father raising his 8-year-old daughter alone. Today was supposed to be the beginning of a better life. After months of searching, Daniel had finally secured an interview for a maintenance supervisor position. It wasn't glamorous, but it offered stability, health insurance, and enough income to give his daughter the future she deserved. He smiled nervously as he handed his identification to the receptionist. Before she could respond, the glass doors opened. Everyone immediately stood straighter. Victoria Sterling, the company's young CEO, entered surrounded by assistants and executives. She was known throughout the business world for her discipline and uncompromising standards. As she walked past Daniel, her eyes stopped on his weathered backpack. She frowned. Security. 2 guards immediately approached. "I want that bag searched." The lobby froze. Daniel blinked in confusion. "I'm sorry." Victoria crossed her arms. "We have confidential documents in this building. Anyone carrying oversized bags must be inspected." Daniel looked around. Several executives were carrying backpacks. None of them had been stopped. Trying to remain calm, he quietly asked, "May I ask why only my bag?" Victoria's expression never changed. "Because I gave the order." The guards stepped closer. People began whispering. Daniel felt dozens of eyes fixed on him. His face burned with embarrassment. "I've done nothing wrong," he said softly. "If you have nothing to hide," Victoria replied, "then you shouldn't object." After several painful seconds, Daniel slowly placed the backpack on the security table. One guard carefully unzipped it. Inside were neatly folded work clothes, a lunch container, a pair of children's sneakers, several crayons, a math workbook, and a framed photograph. The guard paused. It showed Daniel smiling beside a little girl missing her front teeth. The lobby grew quiet. Nothing suspicious, nothing illegal, only the belongings of a father trying to survive. The security guard looked embarrassed. "I'm sorry, sir." Daniel quietly packed everything back into his bag. Victoria simply turned to leave. Then a deep voice echoed across the lobby. "Victoria." Everyone stopped. An elderly gentleman stepped from a nearby hallway. His silver hair and confident posture immediately caught everyone's attention. It was Richard Sterling, founder of Sterling Global, and Victoria's father. Although officially retired, his reputation still commanded enormous respect. He slowly approached Daniel. His eyes widened. Daniel. Daniel looked up in surprise. "Mr. Sterling." Richard smiled warmly. "I never thought I'd see you again." Victoria stared in confusion. "You know him?" Richard looked directly at his daughter. "Know him?" His voice became emotional. "This man saved my life." The lobby fell completely silent. Years earlier, Richard explained, he had been driving home after a late business meeting during a violent rainstorm. His car had crashed through a bridge railing. It hung dangerously over the river below. Passing drivers slowed down. Nobody stopped. Nobody except Daniel. At the time, Daniel had been working as an electrician. Without thinking about his own safety, he climbed onto the damaged bridge, broke the window, and pulled Richard free only moments before the vehicle plunged into the water. Richard had searched for him afterward. But Daniel had disappeared before anyone could even thank him. "I owed this man everything," Richard said quietly. "And today," he turned toward his daughter. "You ordered him searched because of an old backpack." Victoria's face lost its color. I didn't know." Richard nodded. "That's exactly the problem." He slowly walked toward the security table. He picked up the framed photograph. "Do you know what I see?" Nobody answered. "I see a father carrying everything that matters." He looked around the room. "You judged him before learning his name." The silence became unbearable. Daniel finally spoke. "Mr. Sterling, please." Richard shook his head. "No." He turned to every employee watching. "Integrity isn't measured by clothing. It isn't measured by titles. And it certainly isn't measured by the price of someone's bag." Then he faced Victoria once more. "You built this company to be successful. I built it to respect people." Tears filled Victoria's eyes. She slowly walked toward Daniel. For the first time in years, employees saw their CEO speechless. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I made assumptions that had no place here." Daniel looked at her for several seconds. Then he smiled gently. "My daughter tells me that people deserve a chance to become better. I think she's right." Richard smiled proudly. Victoria extended her hand. I hope you'll still consider working here. Daniel shook it, but only if every applicant is treated with the same respect. Victoria nodded. They will be. Months later, employees noticed something remarkable. Security policies changed. Hiring procedures became anonymous during initial screening. Managers attended empathy and leadership training. Most importantly, nobody was judged by appearance again. Daniel accepted the position. Within 2 years, he became one of the company's most respected department leaders. His kindness spread through every team he supervised. One afternoon, Victoria visited Daniel's office. On his desk sat the same old backpack. Still worn, still patched, still carrying crayons beside important paperwork. She smiled. You never replaced it. Daniel laughed. My daughter says it reminds us where we started. Victoria looked at the faded canvas bag. Then quietly answered, good, because it reminds all of us where we almost lost our humanity. Sometimes the most valuable thing a person carries isn't hidden inside a bag. It's the character they carry inside themselves. And no amount of wealth can replace the courage of a humble heart.